your Facebook ad comes up saying Daniel Fast Bridge to Healthy Living 4-day challenge. So I signed up right away. I had no idea what I was really coming into, but I felt like it was from God. I'd done Daniel Fast before, but as you guys always say, this is not your church's Daniel Fast, and it wasn't. Not that there's anything wrong with their church's Daniel Fast, but this is just a next level of experience. And so that's where I was prior. And when I saw that, I signed up for the 4-day, and I felt so much better just within those 4 days. But it was not, it was the, the fast itself, but it was that coupled with the word of God. And although I was just thinking about doing it, it was September, I believe it was, right? It was a September course. You know how we always, oh, we're going to start in the new year. Well, of course, everybody here today is actually in a new year, but this is September. Or we always want to start on a Monday. But God had already told me, Demetria, you got to make every day Monday. You got to make every month the new year, And so I was thinking about those things, and that same cousin who had already been going on her own health journey, who had been seeing a nutritionist and all the things and had a lot of the information. She was like, hey, cousin, are you thinking about doing the course? So she was like, if you are, I'll pay for half. And I was like, I have no excuses. I can't wait. And so she did that, and I took the course.
Awesome. And so what would you say were some of your benefits and some of your wins going through the course? Let them get a sense of what you experienced, what were your wins, what were your benefits, and how it helped you.
Okay. I had so many benefits. I mean, it's hard I made some notes, but I mean, when I just think about the experience, it was so full, it was fulfilling, it was challenging, it was a community of support, and all the things that one needs when you're making a lifestyle change. And it's something that you're not just doing this and then afterwards, I can't wait to get my fill in the blank or eat my fill in the blank. Like, this was an environment that was so caring and loving. But there were some specific things that are quantifiable. Look, and I have receipts, as people say. I have receipts. So let's see. So one thing, let me deal with the tangibles first, I guess. Okay. So first, people always want to know the number. I think after the 4-week course, I lost 18 pounds. And now, okay, so you say, so what about now? Did you maintain it? So now, even though it wasn't the same trajectory, because there's some things I need to do, but since then I've lost 25 pounds. And so let me get the notes on my actual other numbers. So I have a rare cancer called multiple myeloma. It's a blood-based cancer that I was diagnosed with in 2011. And so that was like an interruption in my life. It changed many things. And I had some issues with weight before the diagnosis, but right before I was diagnosed, I had been with a trainer, I had been eating better. And so then I had this diagnosis. And part of my treatment included a lot of steroids. And so as a result of that, one of the things that happened, in addition to battling cancer, is I ended up with steroid-induced diabetes. And so I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011, with diabetes in 2013. I have never had controlled diabetes. It's never been in control. I wasn't always on insulin, all that, but eventually was definitely on fast-acting, short-acting insulin. Listen, and I have receipts. This is not a paid commercial. So on August 26th, that was the last time prior to the course, when I had my A1C tested, which measures about a 3-month period of what your blood sugar levels have been. And it kind of goes up to like a 14. They want you to be 7 or below, especially if you've been diagnosed with diabetes. And so August 26th, my number was 9.1. Within 4 weeks of this course, it dropped by 1 whole point to 8.1. And I told Gigi and Sersie prior to us getting on live that I was going to wait to share publicly. They don't even know this number. On January 6th, I just saw my endocrinologist. Drum roll, please. My A1C is now 6.5 because I continued this. And so, y'all, I was in tears. I had there was a new fellow that came in before my regular physician, and I was in tears, like silent tears. She's like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "Yes." It has never been that low.
Yeah.
Never, never, never been that low. And so those are the main numbers. I mean, I didn't have high cholesterol, but it was borderline, and the cholesterol overall number was 186 prior to doing the 4-week course. And then within those 4 weeks, my next testing was October 21st, and it was down to 147. It's now down to 144. That's the overall. My LDL prior was 112. Within 4 weeks, it was 87. It is now 81.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I already told you the weight that I ultimately, in the 4 weeks, 18 pounds and then 25. I have a lot more to lose, but obviously there are many ways to, including just feeling better. And those are some of my wins. I call this, and I know, and I call this the perfect pairing. And I'll share what I mean by that a little bit toward the end. But there was another thing that the whole thing really encouraged me. Okay. So yeah, no, I'll say a little bit of that now. So there's a perfect pairing. When I experienced this course, signed up for this course, and have continued with it, because I was so shocked when they told me, okay, you'll have lifetime access to the course itself. And obviously every time we do these 4-week challenges, at least for now, maybe it may change for the other people, but we're grandfathered in. So we'll be doing, I can go back to the lives. You can experience more lives. You can have that maintenance with this process. Knowing that this was coming again also encouraged me to maybe make some shifts, because maybe there was one thing I added back. Maybe I was drinking a little bit more coffee than I had been before. And so I did have to do a little detoxing to do this 4 days. I wanted some coffee, but didn't drink it. But this was the perfect pairing because you know how people talk about pairing wine with the perfect meats and all that. I never knew which red or white went with whatever situation. But if obviously here, we're not thinking about that pairing. For me, it was the perfect pairing between faith and wellness. With Gigi giving like nutritional wisdom, and Sersie giving like spiritual insights. Those two, that was the perfect pairing. It was the perfect pairing of faith and understanding, which is what the early church father Augustine talks about, faith seeking understanding. It was a perfect pairing of faith and understanding. It was also like the perfect pairing of faith and works. But, for those of you who are believers, who know the scriptures, faith without works is dead, right? So we could know so many things, just like I was doing that devotional, but it was absolutely the perfect pairing for me to really actually move me from a place of just knowing some of the right things. But I have to admit, there were so many things I did not know. And one of the reasons why I wanted to call this the perfect pairing, because I was so excited by all of the information that Gigi shares about nutrition. And one of the perfect pairings, you have to join the course to really find out more of this. But one of the perfect pairings I was absolutely unaware of was that, I could be eating a good salad, but if I didn't have the perfect pairing of certain things that Gigi teaches us about, I wouldn't have been able to absorb the amount of nutrients that were in that salad. So you may be eating that full salad, but there are some definite wonderful health nuggets. The perfect pairing of food, I learned in this. The perfect pairing of faith and understanding, of faith and works, and all of those things. really were some of the good takeaways for me. I'll stop there if you have another question, but I want to share something else at the end, but that those are some of my wins.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And I think you kind of answered this question. What was the most helpful part for you to help you make that bridge long term from the course? What was kind of the most helpful factor, would you say?
Yeah. Well, it really was a word you preached. Sorry. I didn't mean to do this. Let me drink a little water. There was a word you preached about Caleb. And I've read about Caleb. We know Joshua and Caleb were the two spies that went into the promised lands, but they were the only two who saw the giants, but saw that God was bigger. And so when you shared some things about Caleb, especially him claiming something in his older age that had been promised to him by God, that was pivotal for me, because as a person in my 30s who was diagnosed with a cancer that I was told it has no cure as of yet, but I was told I had 5 years to live at that time. My life had been extremely arrested as I knew it. I'm an attorney by profession, also a minister, but so many things were just arrested in that time. Not that life stopped, God was definitely with me. But there were some dreams, certainly felt deferred. There were some goals that were halted. I was teaching at a small college in Arkansas at the time. I was loving it. I was teaching intro to the Bible to college students, and then teaching some criminal justice courses. So I was able to use both my areas, of interest, and just loving it. I wasn't making $1 million or anything, but I was really enjoying the experience. And as a result of the type of treatment that I had to undergo, I was in treatment, you guys, 7 days a week. Sometimes there were 2 a days. So there was no way for me to continue my job. I wanted to. I was like, can I keep? This wasn't one of those come one day, 5, 10, every single day. And so many things I felt like where I felt like God was taking me before, the dreams that I had before, and the things I felt like were part of my purpose before, I felt like that was totally arrested. But when I heard that story, read the Bible, but it never stood out. That after some time, Caleb was saying that he still wanted to claim the promises that God had given him so many years before. And there are a few things that he said that were really the things that made me keep going. And one of the things that Caleb said in the passage, one thing he said was that, he was still alive. Years had gone by and he hadn't received the promise of God. He was still alive, just like me. I'm still alive. They gave me 5 years. Come February, it'll be 12 years. And I'm still alive. So that means that there's a promise, whatever promises God has for me, that, I still can ask God for those things. Secondly, he said something that I want to be able to proclaim, but I began to proclaim it by faith because of the information Gigi was giving, because of this word that you were sharing, that Caleb said he was still as strong as he was at 85, as he was at 40. Now, I'm not 85, I'm still in my 40s. But, I want to be able to say that at 85, but I also began to claim that I'm as strong as I was in my 20s, or that was something I wanted to do as a result of choosing differently, having this change of mind and change of perspective. Also, he said he wanted to go and get the hill country that was promised. So I'm asking God for my hill country. All right. I want my hill country, because ultimately, as you guys always say, that you guys are here to encourage people to become healthy for their purpose. So because of you two, even though I don't know the conclusion of what is about to happen, because of you two, I was done with that in October. In November, something happened in our local community and I was asked to run for a judgeship. So I prayed and God gave me a green light. The election has not happened, but I'm actually running for a circuit judgeship in Arkansas. I live in Arkansas right now. And I don't think I would have even been able to lean in to even say a yes for the possibility of it if I had not done that thing, if I didn't make September my January, if I didn't make that day my Monday. So I hope I win this election, but what I know for sure is that I've already won when I was moved back to a place where I felt like it was a possibility again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo. Amen to that. I mean, your testimonies bring me to tears because, like you said, we didn't know the end of some of the things you were talking about. And look at God. Look at God. All of the gifts that are in you, He is just pulling them out because you said yes. My God, I'm so happy and blessed to have been part of this journey with you, Demetria. Wow. So as we kind of close out, what advice would you give someone who's where you were back then, who may be sitting on the fence, who it is literally January, so they got that for them, but
right.
they're wondering, shouldn't I, should I take a leap of faith? Should I take this course? Should I not? What advice would you give to somebody who were at the same position you were back then?
Yes, I would say invest in you. We were all created with a divine purpose. Don't allow anything to arrest your development, to halt your hope. Like, don't do any of that. This is a gift. This calling that Sersie and Gigi have is just that. This is a ministry. This is a movement. And this is not your quick fix. This is a lifestyle change that can also be a generational change for you and your entire family. And this will allow you to be like Caleb and become healthy for your purpose so that you can actually, we always talk about faith, having faith to do a certain thing. But like I quoted earlier, the Bible says that faith without works is dead. And then there's also some promises in the word. I think it's in Isaiah where Isaiah says that before he quotes, God saying, before you call, I will answer. So there are some answers to prayer before you've even asked. God was working this work in Sersie and Gigi before you may have even asked the question of God. So I'm saying, look, God has already provided. I'm saying really invest. It is worth the investment. And actually, it's actually not too bad for what you're really going to get. But more than that, it is really you investing in yourself. And if you're that kind of person who needs community and accountability, this is what that is. I felt like I was going to group every week. And it was a place that was a very safe place, an encouraging place. And then an informational, you know how you may say, well, I didn't do this that well. Well, there were going to be some, Sersie or Gigi, they always offered something, or even people in the group who may have had an experience will offer something to help you correct that or try something differently. So I would encourage all of you to take this leap, make this investment in yourself. It's kind of like how people say that eating healthy is expensive. I want to let you know that it's way more expensive to have those medical bills. So invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that, Demetria. Did you have anything, Gigi, you wanted to add? But
no,
thank you so much for this.
Blown away. Yeah. Thank you, Demetria. I'm just blown away. I'm so glad you shared that with us. I had no idea you basically reversed your diabetes. Like getting your A1C under 7 like that is a reversal. I mean,
yes.
that's phenomenal. It's huge.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We're very emotional, Demetria, because you are the reason why we do this.
Yep.
So when we hear your testimony, it rips us, because this is why we do it. And it just fills us up, because we realize, you know what, this is why we're being healthy for our purpose. And so it's just, thank you. We're so blessed, and we're praising God with you. We're cheering you on. And if I was in Arkansas, I would vote, but I can't. But I wish you all the best and success in that as well.